That might be cool.
Yeah.
Alana.
Yes?
You were just telling me that we forgot to go into the thank you room this morning on Clubhouse that is hosted by AJ Jacobs.
Yes, we did.
For some reason, I was under the impression that it started at 9, but you're right, it starts at 8.
Yeah.
So we just missed it.
I really want to start at 9 just because, sometimes, if you don't wake up in time, I don't know. But that's okay. There's always next week.
Yes.
There's always next week, and we don't have to be thankful one day a week.
We could be thankful one day a month instead.
No, every day, Bubs. Not one day a week or only one day a month or one day a year.
I do like your idea of, at the end of this, just saying a few things that we were thankful for.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to, it could be for this episode only or for future episodes. I don't know. Just because, I believe it's true that if you have a thankful attitude, it really does make you feel better throughout the rest of the day, I think. What do you think about that?
I believe there's some truth to that.
Yes.
It's not the only factor, but it definitely helps. It's something you can do that brings up your level of happiness a couple of notches.
Yes, absolutely.
And it, in turn, I think makes you a better person.
Oh, of course.
Kind of like meditation.
I don't think it's quite like that, but...
It's a little bit different. And there are some times when I'm done meditating and I feel a little bit worse than I did at the beginning.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if you were to chart it, it's an upward,
Yeah. I think it keeps...
that it causes.
I really think it keeps a person grounded, and it keeps a person, what's the word? I just think it makes people overall happy when they have an attitude of gratitude, I think.
Are you going to read A.J. Jacobs' book about gratitude?
It's possible. It's possible for sure. Yes.
It was a good, quick read.
How long was it?
I didn't listen to the audiobook. I got my copy off of Bookshare.
Okay.
But I finished it in a little over an hour, I think.
Well, that would have been an audiobook, Bubs.
No, it's not. It's Bookshare. It's not audiobook service, babes.
Well, I know they have ebook copies, but I set it to audio, my settings.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can, Bubs.
Really?
But here's the thing, though. It's read by... See, that's why I was explaining to you about the electronic voices. I don't really like them.
See, I don't mind those at all.
Okay, well, if you set your settings to audio...
Go ahead.
You can download audiobooks from Bookshare.
Oh, really?
I thought you knew that already.
No, there's a lot of, weird little details on life I don't know about.
Oh, this is the time where I'm more observant than you are?
Don't get used to it, babe. It's not like it happens all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time. I'm just saying, when it comes to this audio service here, or this book service.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah. If you don't mind electronic voices, I try to avoid them because I don't like them, but if you don't mind it, then you could find a whole bunch of audiobooks there.
Oh, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it might, I don't know how it would work on your phone, just because I don't know if your phone is able to accept, it probably is, Daisy Books.
I don't know, but if it can't, I'm sure I can find an app that will do it.
Okay, I think it should.
Mm-hmm.
It should. If you're able to play audiobooks on your phone, you should be able to play it from Bookshare. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still make the Victor Reader stream, or no?
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, mine still works after 10 years. 11 years.
What's the price on those things now?
I don't know what the upgrade price is. I really have no idea. It would be good to get an upgrade eventually. I just don't know. But they're so handy. They really are.
I really like the book sense.
Yeah.
But it is completely incompatible with the Mac.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I don't think that they ever made a second edition of it. They came out with it in, I want to say 2009, and they never did an update as far as I know.
You know what? I was going to get one because I was looking for a recording device that I didn't. I was looking for a tape recorder just a standard one that I could take my college lectures. And the guy that was the IT person that was helping me get that, and I've told you about him. He recommended BookSense, but he also showed me the Victor Reader Stream. So, yeah.
The way I understand it is the Stream is a little bit cheaper, or at least it was back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know how much it is to upgrade them, but I heard the upgrades are pretty cool because you can actually go on the internet with them.
And that just download books straight from Bookshare.
Yes, and straight from Bard.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, we've discussed this before, but I'm not a big fan of the Bard app for Android.
Oh, I didn't know. Does it work? Is it kind of wonky with Android?
Yes, it does this weird audio thing where the audio will cut in and out on books.
That's weird.
The iOS app is a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you just download stuff onto your old iPhone or?
I usually use my iPad because the old iPhone has a few issues with charging.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably a good thing you never gave it to me then.
I know.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. And I thought, well, if you gave it to me, then you wouldn't have another phone to download stuff on.
Yeah, I'd make it work, though.
Okay.
Have you thought more about possibly upgrading your technology soon?
Excuse me, possibly. It sounds like iPads are a little bit easily accessible as far as price-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I have thought about definitely upgrading to an iPhone because I think that would help a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think you get a lot out of it.
And I wouldn't have to take a laptop everywhere.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
As much as I like laptops sometimes, and I go back and forth with this because I have friends that are older who, one of them is a tech person. But sometimes he's like, sometimes it's easy on computers to find stuff because, they have the arrow keys.
Mm-hmm.
But he also recognizes that there are things that the phone does that the computer doesn't do. But he goes back and forth with it because he's in a different generation. He's in his at least late 60s, close to 70s, I think. So he's grown up in a different generation than us. And I understand that he would go back and forth. And even his fiance was saying that she was a little bit trepidatious of upgrading to an iPhone too. So, understandably so.
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah.
I think they both serve different purposes.
Right, because I remember when it came out, and I'm thinking, why would anybody want to use a phone for all those things when you have a computer and other technology that you can use? But I was very wrong about that, and it caught on pretty quickly.
There's some cool stuff you can do on it.
Yes.
And you can kind of treat it like a Walkman, too.
Yes, I believe that is true, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I could go, I know on trains right now, if I remember correctly, you couldn't access streaming sites.
But what you could do, babes, is download a bunch of podcasts before you go on the train.
That is true. Or download movies.
Yeah, I've done stuff like that before.
Save movies from your, download movies from your laptop onto a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it easy to, oh, you said you had a hard time with that.
I personally have had issues with file transferring on the iOS devices.
Yeah.
But I also have a lot of different files, and that may contribute to it. I don't think it's as smooth as Apple would have you believe.
Is it easier to download audio files, music files, than it is to download, I don't know if you have videos on your thing.
Yeah, it's easier to download files straight from your phone than to transfer them off of your computer.
No, what I mean is it easier to save audio files to your phone or video files? I mean, is there a difference there?
I haven't found that it's easier.
Okay.
So if you had a Bard account, though, you could just use it on your phone and download it straight to your device. True. Instead of having to download it on your computer and transfer it and, all that stuff.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, okay, that's interesting. That's something to think about, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about, so even with the iPad, too, you said you had problems with you've had problems with transferring things onto your iPad than you did transferring things off of it, right?
I've had problems with both. File transfer, I found, just does not work, at least not the way it should for me.
I have to look that up. I'm actually curious about that because I need to know what I'm getting into.
Some people say it's easy. It's the one thing that I think Android does a lot better is file transfer. There are a few things, but it's a thing that stands out to me that I use the most is file transferring.
Yeah, because there are blind people that would prefer Androids over iPhones or vice versa. So
most blind people still use iPhones.
Oh, yes.
But I think that's going to change in the next 5 years.
You think so?
Yes. As Android slowly becomes more accessible.
Okay.
I mean, they're fighting it.
Okay.
The people who work on the Android phones. But I think they're going to eventually have to give in and really make some improvements with accessibility.
And Android is still considered, I know Android is still considered a smartphone in its own way.
Well, it is. It's just not the iOS.
Okay.
Ecosystem.
Ecosystem.
Yes, babes.
Okay, well, that's something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe I'll start with an Android and work my way up.
You never know, babes. I would not get an Android tablet, but if you wanted to do an Android smartphone, that's something you could do.
And then get an iPad.
Yeah. I really like my Moto G Power because it has very, very good battery life.
Really?
Yeah.
Your Android?
Yeah, the phone I use.
Ah, okay.
Like, we watched 2 movies yesterday.
Yeah.
And I listened to some music last night, and I think it was at like 75% power this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had it for close to a year.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's something to think about, because I am definitely very much considering both products.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And it's cheaper. I think you could get the Moto G on Amazon for around $200.
Mm.
So.
Okay.
Think about that there, Jaylo.
Yes, very good.
In the town hall the other day.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we mentioned here.
No, I don't think so.
But Paul said that eventually they want to have a computer app so that people can go log on from their laptops to Clubhouse.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But
that
he said it's going to be a ways off just because they don't have enough engineers.
Hmm.
What I think would be cool, babes, is if they had an Alexa skill to where you could...
Dot skill.
Dot skill. I'm sorry. I should have known
Echo
that.
dot skill.
Dot skill.
Dot skill.
To let you use your dot. I'm sorry. I completely messed up on that one.
Okay, I put it on mute.
Thank you.
Yeah. I put on mute. Okay, remember. Dot skill.
Dot skill.
That's okay. That's okay.
We all slip. We all slip.
Freudian slip.
Yes, but if you could log on to Clubhouse on the dot, I think that would be really, really cool.
That would be awesome because then I could, listen to interesting rooms. And I mean, I probably won't be as obsessed as you are.
No.
But I'll probably be like once in a while, like to pass the time, I'll go on it. But I won't go on it like ridiculously for long hours. It's too much.
It's fun though.
Yes, I understand. It's fun.
Yes. Speaking of the dot, last night we were trying to listen to music in the living room, and it took us a minute, and you finally realized that it was playing in the bedroom.
That is so odd. And you said you had problems with yours, right?
Sometimes, not as much as you do, though.
No. I don't usually have that problem. It just happens like once in a while.
I think the reason you may have it more than I do is because my dots are a little bit more spread out.
Oh, really? Like, okay, so where's...
So I have one in my living room, or one in my bedroom and one in my kitchen, but the way my apartment's set up, there's more of a buffer, I think.
A buffer?
Yeah, there's a little bit more distance.
I'm trying to remember because I've been at your house several times. Is there like something dividing the living room and the kitchen again?
I mean, there's a wall.
There's a wall, but...
And I usually keep my door to my bedroom closed when I'm not in it. Not because of that, but I just do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably what I have done is because I've left my door open even when I'm gone outside.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want, I don't want it to be so hot in there when I get in there. But now that I have a fan, it's not really a problem. But I should keep my door closed now when I leave it, even though I don't do that. I don't know. We
made it work, though.
Yes.
Yes.
We eventually figured it out, and we were We had a really good day yesterday.
I had fun.
I had a good time.
Yes.
I decided to order some parsley and other things, and we were able to make tabbouleh yesterday.
Turned out really good, I thought.
It was delicious.
I decided to zest some lemon and throw that into the brown rice. We use brown rice instead of bulgur wheat.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it tastes really good with brown white rice.
Yes.
And then we had some parsley. Unfortunately, I had more of the stems in mine because I thought I got all of them and it didn't work out. I'm glad that you didn't have as many.
I think I had one stem.
Thank goodness. I would feel so bad.
No.
Because I was like pulling stems out. I'm like, oh, this is why I don't like dealing with parsley sometimes. I forgot that there's so many stems. But it's okay. Everything was good. The mint tasted so good with that, and I think we used it all.
We did.
It was delicious. Now, how much mint would you normally use for that?
I normally use as much as I can, because mint goes really well in tabbouleh.
Okay. And then we had tomato and
cucumber. We forgot the green onions. But it's not the end of the world. I forgot the
green onions, but I'm going to use it in something else that I'm thinking about making today.
Yes. You seem pretty turned off when I suggested that you throw the green onions in some pancakes.
That just doesn't sound good.
Mm.
I don't believe I've had a savory pancake or a crepe. I would try it, but I don't know that green onions would taste really good with pancake batter.
Keep in mind, I am a good cook, but my weak area is breakfast.
Yeah.
But I've seen recipes where people have made pancakes with green onions.
I would try it. Mm-hmm. I would definitely try it, but I just don't know. Green onions sound better with omelets, but I just don't know that green onions would taste good with pancakes. But then I haven't tried a lot of savory pancakes either, so... I'm more of a sweeter pancake kind of a person. Chocolate chip pancakes, stuff with pancake stuff with like fruit in it or cinnamon or whatever. But I never thought of green onions in pancakes. It just sounds really weird to me.
Oh.
It sounds odd.
You did buy us some apple pies for dessert.
Yes, I was hoping to get the pecan pies. It's from a company called Table Talk, and they have these little pies. And I warmed them up enough to where the crust was a little bit more softer, and they were pretty good. And you suggested that one day we make an apple pie, right?
I think that might be fun.
That would be fun.
Yes.
Or we could do a chocolate.
Chocolate apple pie?
No, a chocolate pie.
That's a possibility. I also gave you the idea of what if we did a chocolate apple cake?
That would be interesting.
Yeah. And my idea was we kind of take the cheesecake concept, right? So we make our crust out of Oreo cookies, and then we fill it with the apple pie filling and cook it.
Oh.
I'm sure that's horrible for your body, but...
I know.
It does sound good.
It sounds delicious. The only concern I would have is what if the apple is like too overpowering for the chocolate?
That's true.
Because apples can get pretty sweet. We'll have to talk about that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking of, if we do make a cheesecake, it would be interesting to make like, if you wanted to make a chocolate cheesecake, instead of doing like an Oreo crust, we could do like a shortbread crust and put like a chocolate filling in there. I don't know.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. We were supposed to do that. I was supposed to have a cooking party with some friends of mine when I was in Hawaii. And we were supposed to make some kind of a cheesecake or a pie. And we were supposed to do a shortbread crust, but it didn't work out. And we were supposed to make manicotti, but it didn't happen.
I don't think I've ever made or eaten manicotti.
Oh, manicotti is delicious.
What is it?
It's like a pasta that has some things in it. I think the last time I went to the Olive Garden... when I was in St. Louis, I had No, wait, no, it wasn't St. Louis. I remember now. I went to this Italian place here in Portland. I can't remember what it was called. I'll have to tell you when I remember. And it, I had this manicotti, and it was like a pasta with, it was like stuffed with, I think it was chicken or something in it. It was really good. Covered with some kind of a cheese.
I am excited tonight, babes, to make some baked ziti.
Ooh.
Yes.
What are you going to put in it?
A lot of cheese. I got some fresh mutts.
What's?
I got some dry mutts.
What's?
I have some freshly grated Parmesan, or will be freshly grated tonight.
Parmesan.
And some ricotta cheese.
Ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that, babes.
Yes. I still have some Parmesan in my cabinet that I haven't used in a while, and I'm wondering how to know if it's not good anymore.
Did you get the type that you grade by yourself, or did you get like the store-bought kind where it's in the container?
It's in the container, yeah.
It's probably still good. Those things usually last a long time.
Really?
Yeah, as long as they're closed and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's closed. I haven't used it in a while, actually. I forgot it was there.
Oh, the fresh stuff is so much better, babes.
I understand. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's so good.
Plus, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard rumors that they like to put sawdust in the Parmesan cheese that you buy that's already grated.
Really?
Yeah. No, but they put a lot of weird stuff in food.
They do put a lot of weird stuff, and it's probably best we don't know about it
Yeah, it's weird. My philosophy has kind of changed on this as I grow older.
Yeah.
The older I get, the less I want to know what they're putting in my food.
Absolutely.
Because if I really go down the rabbit hole, it's going to get to the point where I can't eat anything.
You can't eat anything. Well, it's just like when we were talking about McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
If I want to go to a fast food place like McDonald's, I really don't want to know what calories are in my food.
Or somebody lost a finger and you're eating it.
No. That's not what I mean.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really want to know how many calories I'm consuming. And I certainly don't want to get a salad. And I don't want to get fries without salt.
I told you that years ago, we're talking maybe 2013, this was the last time I had anything from McDonald's.
Yes.
My grandparents bought some food from McDonald's, and they bought me a salad and fries minus the salt.
That's terrible.
This is so disgusting.
That's terrible.
First of all, their salad was like the grossest thing ever. It was all like dead vegetables that had no real flavor to them.
What salad was it?
It was just a regular house salad.
Ew.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, if you're going to get a salad, at least get like a chef salad or something.
I don't think that they are that advanced at McDonald's. But
it may have changed since 2013, though.
Yeah, but I myself, it was just me. I would never go to McDonald's to get a salad.
I would agree.
Unless the zombie apocalypse had hit, and that's the only type of salad you could possibly get.
I heard that Wendy's has a pretty good salad.
I don't think I'd ever get a salad at a fast food place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's not why I go there.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you, but there are salads that are good. But I understand where you're getting at. Like, I would get a salad. I would most likely get a salad at a diner.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or if somebody made me a fresh salad or something.
Yeah, getting one at home's the best. If the person knows what they're doing.
Right. But anyway, yeah, I would not, I don't go to McDonald's to get anything healthy. I do agree.
Unsalted fries.
Ew, that's so gross.
Oh, they're so gross, babes.
Oh.
And everybody was like, do you notice anything about these fries? And I'm like, I didn't want to say anything, but I was thinking, they taste really bad. And they're like, they're unsalted. I asked for them unsalted. And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Salt is a secret ingredient now.
I know. And there's that's what makes their fries so good. That is so gross.
I know it was.
He could have just gotten those fries for him and your grandma.
I don't know. It's a crazy time, babes.
I know. That's crazy. Anyway.
It's crazy that it's been so long since I've gone to McDonald's because I used to go there all the time.
Wow.
Especially in high school and like right after.
I remember when you told me that you would get like 2 double quarter pounders, I think it was. Was it right?
Here's what I used to do.
Yeah.
I would go there after school or for lunch. This is so unhealthy now.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And it's actually odd that I was so skinny when I think about this, right?
Yeah.
But my jam would be get 2 double quarter pounders with cheese
Yum.
minus the tomato.
Yum, yum.
And 2 large fries and a large Coke.
That's crazy.
And maybe a McFlurry.
Okay, that's yummy, but that is insanely nuts that you would do that every day.
Maybe not every day, but let's say 2 to 3 times a week.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. I would do that at least once every however many weeks. I don't know, but not like 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh yeah, and it's not like every kid in my school loved McDonald's because I went to a hippie school.
Uh-huh.
So we did have good restaurants in the area. I just had a really undefined palate.
That's okay. I mean, there are times where kids are like, oh, all I want to eat is burgers or all I want to eat is pizza.
Yeah, but with me, it was like all the time. It's weird. I'm a late bloomer in a lot of things.
I remember there was one time I went on a field trip and one of the kids that went with me, I was like really young at the time. I think her mom got her McDonald's and I was so jealous because I didn't go to McDonald's all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would go there when, I would go there for dinner or maybe for lunch and play on the playground, but I wouldn't go like all the time. So we were not spoiled in that way that we would just go like all the time. And
yeah, well, in my school, in high school and in middle school, but I didn't really do it as much in middle school, you could leave the grounds of the school to go and eat.
See, that was cool. That's pretty, I would have been so... I really wish that we were able to do that because we had to eat at our cafeteria and it didn't always have the best food.
Well, I wish that I would have done more exploring. So I would go to places like Escape from New York Pizza once in a while.
You told me that one was good, yes.
I really like Escape from New York. And then there's this other place called the Blue Moon Cafe and a few other spots. But McDonald's was my jam. I also like Taco Bell.
Yes. And
Subway. But I wish I would have done more exploring. Plus... when I would walk home from school, because I really got into walking in high school. Yeah. I don't know if I think it might still be there. There's a McDonald's close to Pioneer Square on I forgot, it's on 6th downtown. Mm-hmm. And I would stop there on my way home. So if I didn't get McDonald's for lunch, oftentimes I'd have it after school. That's hilarious. Yeah. And my mom was, doing her thing. So
and she was gone sometimes too.
Yeah, she was gone a lot of times. So I could just be like, I'm going to have a quick dinner and then go home.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I guess it's different because every time I did go home, there was always something homemade. So I wasn't eating fast food every single time.
My mom was a really bad cook.
Oh, I know. You told me that.
Did I tell you that?
Yes. On occasion, my dad would bring home some burgers and fries, which was nice because we didn't get that all the time. Mm-hmm. But he was a cook in our family, so we always got really good stuff.
Did your dad ever do hamburgers?
Yes.
Like make them?
Yes.
Nice.
He made, one time my friend came over, and he made some burgers and some thick cut fries. Mm-hmm. And he goes, here, try these fries. And I'm like, oh, these are so good. They're really good. Nice. I mean, they were nice and crunchy. He's an excellent cook. And he made like the best steaks. One of the best steaks.
That's really good.
Yeah. So I guess I was spoiled in that way because my dad was the cook in the family. And even if my mom was making something from a box, occasionally she'll buy cinnamon rolls that you have to bake. Mm-hmm. She always, it always turned out really good. And there are some things that obviously she knew how to make. But my family, I've come from a family of good cooks. So
I've had your mom's food. It's pretty good, actually. I know that she told me that she didn't think that she was a good cook, but I liked her.
No. She makes some really good, lumpia. It's you haven't tried that yet, but
I think I tried her chicken adobo, and it was pretty good.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. I was talking about other stuff that she does. No, she makes this noodle dish called pancit, which is a pretty much a Filipino staple in everybody's Filipino party. It's like a thin noodles. I forgot what kind of noodles it was from. And there's veggies in there. There might be a little bit of meat, and it's really good. And there's different kinds. There's different kinds of it, and she knows how to make that. And then lumpia is another staple that we have at parties, which they're like your egg rolls, but I think they're better.
Okay.
Some of them are thin, but some of them are long and thicker and really good. And the best kind are the kind that have meat in it. It's so good, and they're best when they come out of the fryer, right out of the fryer.
Nice.
So good. But anyway, yummy.
Yummy. All that to say, it's been a while since I've gone to McDonald's and eaten like I did back in high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there was one time that I had McDonald's on one of my band practices, because we had we had this like band retreat. We went. No, was it a band retreat? It was no, it was band practice that we did on Saturday, and my aunt bought me a quarter pounder, and I thought, oh, this is awesome.
I love the double quarter pounders. I can't believe I'd eat 2 of those.
I can't believe
and
that.
2 large order of fries.
Well, Bubs, maybe the reason why you're skinny is because you were able to walk it off.
That's a possibility, yeah.
Well, you guys have it so much better than us, because we have to work to get to get in shape, and you guys are like, oh, we can eat like a whole thing of fries and burgers and walk it off, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to work it off. We have to really work it off.
Well, I'm proud of you there, Jaylo.
Yeah. So if I had 2 double quarter pounders every day for a month, and fries, and
2 things of fries,
soda, 2 things of fries, and a large soda,
yeah,
for sure you're going to notice a
difference.
And
an Oreo McFlurry.
And an Oreo McFlurry, which is delicious.
Yes.
For sure you're going to notice a difference. You're going to be like, babes, what's wrong? You're not as small as you were before.
There's more of you to love.
There's more of you to love.
I can hide in one of these folds if I want to get away from you.
Hide in my biscuits.
Yes. I probably shouldn't say this, babes.
Uh-oh. What?
When I was less enlightened, I was hanging out with a couple of guy friends, and we were talking about bigger women, fat ladies.
Yeah.
And I made the joke, I say, well, I love dating fat women because in the winter, if the power goes out, I can just hide under one of their rolls, take a lighter, set their fat on fire, and be warm for the night.
Oh.
And my other friend said, no, I like being around fat ladies because, sometimes I could look in their rolls and find like a Slim Jim or something to snap on. And one of my friends who was, completely like trying to act woke, just try to act offended by all this. And,
oh, really?
But meanwhile, it's this guy's talking shit. I don't really mean that.
Setting fat on fire, really?
That was a joke, babes.
That's okay.
It's called humor there, Jim.
Oh no, I actually think it's kind of funny.
Thank you, babes.
Yeah, you can find a chocolate bar in one of the
rolls.
I honestly think that the ones that act offended, like the men that actually act offended by what the jokes that you're saying about women,
yeah,
aren't really offended.
No,
they just want to.
They want branding points.
Right, exactly. There's some that really are offended, but nowadays most of the people that are really offended are the ones that are actually offending.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't ever, if a guy tells a woman, "Oh, I'm for women's rights," they're not really for women's rights. They're the same offenders.
I'm for the right to stay in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
No, I think we might have said this before, but one of the reasons I think I'm for women's rights, and this is going to sound so off, is because most of the good cooks I've known have been men. So why would I want a woman in the kitchen if I can have a man in the kitchen who's better at cooking? I don't know.
I've had different experiences with that. Yes. I think that there are men. I think that there are many women that are good cooks in the kitchen, but they have to work hard at it. Mm. I don't think that just because you had experiences with bad cooking from women that the women that you are gonna be terrible cooks.
No, but for real, I've known a lot more men who are better cooks than women.
Well, maybe it's the people you surround yourself with, Bubs.
Okay, I'm just saying that's probably why I'm a little bit more enlightened. I mean, that's one of the reasons. It's not... What? What?
Not
Tickling
enlightened.
Oh, I'm close to it, okay.
No, but you had my mom's cooking already.
I had your mom's cooking, but what I'm saying is when I was younger, this is what got reinforced in my head.
Oh, I see.
And so I think that's why, so I think that's maybe why I was always pro women's rights. It's not because I wanted to sound woke. It's because I wanted something good to eat.
Okay. Now the truth comes out.
Yes.
Because I wanted a better cook in the kitchen.
I'm for women's rights, but it's not what you think. It's because I actually want to like the food that I eat.
Okay. That does sound a little bit off.
Thank you. I still love you.
It's okay. I've noticed though, Bubs, that as I've gotten older, I've been meeting more men that like to garden. I thought that was just a woman thing.
Oh no, gardens. My dad used to garden.
Really?
Yeah, gardening's not just a woman thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did he garden?
I think he did tomatoes. This was when I was really young.
Oh.
I think he did tomatoes and carrots. No, gardening's not a woman thing at all. I mean, I'm sure there are women who garden, but a lot of guys are into gardening. Yeah, I've always known that.
You know what? There was a show I used to watch on Saturdays in Seattle, and it was with this guy named Cisco, and it was called Gardening with Cisco.
Oh.
And it was this guy. This was of course on a Seattle channel, and I think he was on the NBC affiliate.
Go ahead.
And it was so funny because this guy was from I think he was from Wisconsin. And he just cracked me up just the way he was talking, and he would give like tips about gardening.
I will tell you this, if I owned a house, I would probably be a gardener.
Yeah, I've helped men with putting tomatoes in baskets and things like that, the tomatoes that they've grown, and I love the taste of fresh veggies from a garden. I love the taste of fresh tomatoes.
Did I tell you, babes, that...
No, I don't know.
Well, I don't think I've told you this.
Okay.
When I was in 4th grade,
yeah, we
had a thing in our class to where we were each put in charge of growing a plant.
Oh, wow.
And I think the 3 people whose plant grew the most and looked the strongest got prizes. I forgot what they were.
Okay.
But I was the runner-up. I did the second best job in my class of growing the plant. Yeah.
What kind of a plant was it?
I don't remember. This was so long ago.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like if I went into gardening and I really devoted myself to it, I'd be pretty good at it.
Wow.
But it's also a lot of work too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not simple.
If you didn't grow vegetables, you could grow roses and flowers. I mean, people like to do that, or they have like flowers and veggies, or they have fruit trees. I have some friends that are really into canning. I
need to do more canning.
Oh my goodness, they have like all these really good juices. Like I've had their grape juice, and man, if you get fresh grape juice, let me tell you, it'll clean you out. I can tell you that right now. But it's really good for you. And I've had their plum and their pear juice, and that really is good for you too. But I think my favorite juice that I've had of theirs is grape.
You know what would be a cool program to start, babes?
What's that?
And it's something that you could probably do here in the Northwest, is partner with a local organic farmer to bring disabled children out to the farm and teach them how to farm as a disabled person. I'm thinking specifically about blind kids.
I think that would be cool.
Or maybe what you would want to do is you'd want to partner a farmer with a couple of blind adults. Yeah. Teach them so you know that they're learning the techniques. Then you bring out a group of blind kids and teach them kind of the basics.
You know, when I was getting a tour of this place, I found out from the previous manager that they have a community garden here.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So when they really are in full swing, some people have made have grown like fresh, huge strawberries. And, you know, I like strawberries sometimes, and I like them when they're nice and sweet and big. And are you laughing?
No, I'm not laughing. I just had something in my eye.
Oh, okay.
So it's getting it out, but I'm listening.
Okay, and yeah, they make like fresh strawberries and some other things, but I've only went there once to the community garden.
I was there when you went.
Were you?
Yes.
Was that where the deck was?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about the first time that I took a tour here.
Oh, okay. I thought she showed you the garden the second time.
Did she? Oh, maybe that was where the deck was. I'm sorry.
I think so.
But it was that's such a nice deck up there.
You know what I heard about the other week, babes?
What's that?
You know the Italian chef whose rooms that we will sometimes go into?
Yes.
Attilio?
Yes.
He was talking about a strawberry risotto, I think.
Oh.
I may have, I'm pretty sure he's talking about doing a strawberry risotto.
I don't know if that would taste, well, maybe that would taste good, but I don't know. I've had risotto where it was mostly like cheesy and creamy, but not strawberry.
Something to experiment with, but I would get into gardening.
Oh, I would try your veggies. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. It would also be cool to go into high crime neighborhoods and start roof gardens. I think I've heard of people doing that.
Really?
And then you have these community gardens that everybody contributes to.
And it kind of keeps people,
off
the crime and they're, because they're getting into something that really does help the community.
And it teaches them about food and where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good, especially, I mean, it's if your roof is big enough, yes.
What you could do is you could either contact like apartment buildings and use their roofs, or some office buildings, I think. I don't know.
That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do remember going to somebody's place. I forgot who it was, but it was a whole bunch of people meeting, and we had like a party on top of the roof of the building because the roof was big enough to have like, chairs and stuff. And I was like, wow.
Those are fun.
Those are fun. Yeah. Yes. And then a whole bunch of us went to this bubble tea place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like bubble tea. I just don't like the stuff at the bottom of it. Ugh.
I never really got too into bubble tea.
I mean, I think that if they're going to call it bubble tea, there should actually be bubbles in it and not tapioca balls.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I used to like tapioca pudding when I was a kid, and now I don't like it anymore.
I'm not really a pudding fan, but you already know that.
I love chocolate pudding.
Pudding?
And I love banana pudding.
Oh, my goodness.
Banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
Yes. That's and bread pudding.
Oh.
Bread pudding is good pudding.
Thank you, pudding.
You're welcome, pudding. My pudding pilgrim.
My pudding pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway. Pudding.
Pudding.
Did you still call me pudding, okay?
I will try to avoid that, babes. I'll do my best.
We're just coming up with weird nicknames for each other, aren't we?
We are. Which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, it shows that we're getting closer, I guess.
Yes.
My little pudding pop.
Pudding pop.
Pudding pop.
Yes. Which is what... I'm not going to make that joke.
All right. I do miss them, though.
Yes.
Anyway.
I was going to make a joke about a certain celebrity who used to be a TV star.
All right. We all right.
I think we know.
Okay.
Okay, all right, babes, let's drop it.
I'll pinch your nose.
Okay.
Pilgrim.
Before we get to the movies,
yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
I was glad that the groceries got there before 3.
Yeah, I mean, you also ordered wild cherry Pepsi, which would have been nice.
I know.
But I only drink soda when I'm with you. And you don't drink it that often.
I don't. I do not. The person that was my shopper suggested that that maybe I could get the 6-pack, but I'm like, well, here's a problem I have with that, because I know that if I get a 6-pack or more than that, I'm going to be drinking it all the time.
Yeah, and that's not good.
And that's not good. And I know that, there are times where I'll get mini cans, but even that can get a little crazy if you get them all the time.
I know. So
I get them like very, very once in a while. And if I ever get a soda, it's like a 20-ounce soda, because I can't do the 1 or 2 liters are just way too much, and they get flat really quickly.
I think the last time we had soda, was when your mom was here, she took us to Maya's, and you had a Coke, so I had a sip of yours.
I was very thirsty, and I slipped and had one because I haven't been drinking Coke in a while, and I'm more of a Pepsi girl anyway, and I was hoping I had Pepsi, but I was really thirsty, and I'm like, okay.
And I think the time before that was maybe 4 or 5 months earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I could go for a long time without drinking anything like that.
I went around 4.5 years once without drinking any soda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Very good, Jaylo.
That's just like how long I've that at one time when I haven't had I think there was one time where that was the same amount of time at least that I didn't have any burgers.
I still haven't had a burger since going back to eating meat.
Wow.
So the last time I had one had to be probably early 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I think last time I had a burger was weeks ago. I can't remember when it was.
Oh. I do want to have a burger again, but if I do, I want to make it at home and make it really, really special. Like make the bread from scratch.
Yeah, right.
Make all the sauces.
You gotta look up Bubs, Rebecca Brand.
Okay.
On YouTube because she's got a recipe for the quarter pounder.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Mm.
And it sounds really good. And she figured out how to make it. And you could probably do a double one if you really wanted to have a burger.
Yeah.
I personally recommend that you get hamburger buns, but I guess if you want to make your own buns, you could. But yeah, her recipe sounded really good.
Mm.
Yeah. And she has a good recipe for red velvet cake as well.
I already know how to make that, babes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we've done that before. We've done velvet cake.
Did we?
Yeah. This is at my place.
Oh, wait, I think...
before the apocalypse.
No, wait, no. We did cheesecake, Bubs. We didn't do
we did velvet cake, babes.
What did we do?
We did a velvet cake.
Oh, maybe we did. It's been a while since I've been to your place.
I know. I think that's going to change soon.
Yay.
Like maybe within the next couple of weeks.
No, wait, did we? I know that we did. Okay. It was like a regular, we didn't use food coloring.
Yeah, so it was just like a brown velvet cake. But it was still a velvet cake nonetheless.
Okay, because we did the cream cheese and the, oh, that's right, we did, and you put the flax seeds in it.
That's right.
I honestly think the best cakes that taste good with flax seeds is cheesecake.
Cheesecake does taste pretty awesome with it.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
I might have to make a cheesecake this week.
Oh.
Get a little bit of cherry flavoring.
Mm.
Maybe I'll do both. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make a lemon cheesecake and a chocolate cherry one.
Oh, man. Are you going to make your own cherry whip?
I don't know about that.
Or are you just going to get like a cherry filling or something?
Probably just a cherry filling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or flavoring. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
I had an idea for, I don't know if it's a book or a movie when we were eating dinner. Should I share that or do you think?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm giving away all the good stuff. When we were eating, I thought, well, what if somebody wrote a book or a short story about a lady who's in college and she decides that she is going to join some organization like the Big Brothers and Sisters.
Yeah.
And she takes a little girl under her wings who's maybe 12 and is autistic, right? Mm-hmm. And the college student is kind of a hippie, really nice person. And one day there's like a mishap. So she takes the autistic girl home with her to have dinner. And the hippie lady lives in a co-op, a shared housing situation. Mm-hmm. And they all have dinner together. And now the autistic girl just wants to spend time at the co-op. Mm. And it's about how she evolves through the people she meets at the co-op and how they change her as well. And the effect that they have on her family. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That might be a good story.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I haven't written anything last week like I said I was going to, so I need to get back into it.
Yes. Have you thought, babes, about doing morning pages? I know I talk about it a lot because it is something.
No, but I thought about journaling again, and I haven't been in a long time. I've been reading without journaling, and I need to do that because it really helps me to put into words how I can apply what I just read. I need to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would quite true.
Wait.
Yes.
Because I read some of my entries and they were done like way back in 2008, and I feel like I've grown a lot, and I really want to get back into it and just to write down how much I've grown. Yeah,
because you were just 4'3" back then.
I'm not talking physically.
That was a joke, babes.
Bubs.
It was a dad joke.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh, what else?
Bubs. That was
made you
laugh. Was it?
Yeah, I did.
Did it?
Yes, it did. Now give me a kiss.
Did it make me laugh? I wasn't laughing.
Yeah, you were.
What do I?
Give me a kiss.
Oh. 4'3", whatever.
So you have grown since. But
I thought you were 2'6".
Okay, what else?
2'6" Rick.
2'6" Rick.
No, seriously. No, I haven't thought about it. But I thought about I thought about journaling with other things. Not that.
Yeah, morning pages is so good. But you already know
yes.
how I feel about the great Julia Cameron and that exercise that she's given to the world.
Yeah, it sounds really new agey though.
It works though. You get results.
Kind of new agey, kind of self-helpish. I don't know.
It is self-help. It comes from a self-help book, but it gets results.
Do you know how I feel about self-help stuff too?
Well, here's what I'd say.
What?
Do you want to get caught up on who the messenger is if it comes in the form of a self-help book, or do you want to get caught up on what the results are, on that it makes you a better person? I'd rather think about the results than the messenger.
Oh.
But that's me.
Okay.
Yes. If Pat Robertson said something that made sense and I could apply to my life, and I found out that it worked, then I'd be talking about a Pat Robertson exercise.
Well, that's fair.
You know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the both of us have established that we both don't really care for Pat Robertson.
No.
I mean, I don't. I think there's some things that I have issues with what he said, but that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's besides the point. I don't know. I'm just not like I don't know. A lot of people are so caught up in the whole like, how can I help myself? I don't know. I
agree. There is definitely,
and you can only do so much.
The dark side of self-help, right? Where people put on these facades of, oh, I'm great, I'm doing awesome, and then you pull them aside and talk to them alone.
And they're not.
You find out that their life is in total disarray.
Yes.
Having said that, I do think that there are things that I've gleaned from self-help books, not just Julia Cameron. I have issues with Tony Robbins, but I've definitely learned some things from reading his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have issues with Napoleon Hill, but I've gotten stuff that,
Is that really his name, Napoleon Hill?
I know that that's the name that he wrote under. I'm assuming that was his real name.
Okay.
But he's kind of like the godfather of that world.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Think and Grow Rich came out in the 30s.
Oh, wow. Well, because, and I also have a problem with it because but a lot of the motivational type of speakers, right? Mm-hmm. They'll say like, if I can do it, you can do it too, right? Or they'll say, this is how you can get rich in no time flat. With my steps, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of psychologists do that too, right? And I just, there's something doesn't seem right to me when I hear about that, but that's just me.
I completely understand what you're saying. I was very anti-self-help until I was... let me back up. I think the first self-help book that I actually read was The War of Art. Mm-hmm. And I was probably 28 when I picked that book up.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't read another book in that genre until about 2015 when I was 32.
Uh-huh.
But I'd known so many people who said that they got something from them. So I decided to really go on hard. That's when I read Napoleon Hill. That's when I started listening to Tony Robbins and reading some of his stuff.
Uh-huh.
And There's some stuff in there that I don't agree with, but I did get value out of my time there. I think the problem is when you think that the self-help community is the only thing that you should be doing, is listening to speakers and pretending that you have a great life, and you take it to that extreme. But if you look at it like, there's a few tools in here I could take. I don't have to give these people all my time or attention, but I can give it enough to where I glean these lessons that I can apply to my life. Then I think it can be useful. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I found.
Okay. I will say this, though. When I read The Art of Seduction, it did give me some things to think about. I didn't agree with everything, of course.
Oh, Miss
Alexa, stop. Wait a minute. I just put it on mute.
I don't know. Maybe you accidentally tapped it afterwards. But what were you saying about The Art of Seduction?
Okay, I probably did. Anyway, so when I read The Art of Seduction, there were some things for sure that I didn't agree with, but there were some things to think about. Mm-hmm. You know, different types of personality types. The star or the coquette.
The professor.
The idealist, I think it is. Mm-hmm. The one that it would be your ideal mate or something or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, how that could be problematic. I'm guessing, you know, it gave me a little bit of things to think about, although I didn't agree with everything.
Robert Greene I have so many mixed emotions about him because, well, I don't know if I would consider his book self-help or not. If we are, then I guess the first self-help book I read was The 48 Laws of Power, which at the time, when I read it in 2000... was it 5 or 6?
Yeah.
Might have been 2006. I got a lot out of it. But for real, it's a very cynical book looking back on it. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not truth in it. But if I read it today for the first time, I don't know if I'd have the same response. Yeah. But I really do like his books. But I think with everybody, you should question what you read.
Well, and then there are some self-help stuff that I believe has seeped in to the Christian community as well. For sure. Like, there was one time where the church I was going to at the time was reading a book by Pastor Rick Warren, and I don't even know why I read it. I think I just read it because my church was doing it, but it was called The Purpose-Driven Life. That is by far a good example of what a self-help book is, but there's like a little bit of like Christianity in it, and I'm just like, and I thought to myself, why do I want to read something that... And in the book, it didn't seem like it backed up a lot of the stuff. It just seemed like, oh, this is just a pastor saying it. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's not like the 5 love languages. Because I don't think it's even a self-help book. I think it's just... I
would say that it is.
It is?
Yes.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
So, keep going.
I mean, I guess the reason why I don't think it's a self-help book is... just because it didn't feel like it to me. It just seemed like, oh, it's just something to think about when you're learning about people that, learning about people that you love and how to show them love. But that's just me. But Rick Warren's book was definitely that. And he's a well-known pastor. I just did not, I realized after reading it, because there are people that were definitely critiquing his book. And I'm like, I don't know why I read this. And actually, now that I think about it, I didn't really get a whole lot out of it. And I think I just read it because other people were reading it.
I definitely know people from the self-help community who are Christians and see that there's this weird interplay between the two worlds.
It is. And there are a lot of Christians that are saying, you know what? That's, a lot of people have fallen into it because... in Christianity, there is a lot of emphasis on not looking to yourself. It's very, very contrary to self-help and self-esteem in a lot of ways. Mm. Yeah. A lot of, and I've heard a lot of people in Christian circles say, that's a big problem in even our circles because if you look in scriptures, they don't emphasize looking to yourself. it's not, it's totally contrary. So I found that it's really, steeped into Christian circles. And that's why I was wondering if, cause you told me that you said, Julia Cameron, considers herself a Christian. And I have questions about that.
We should say that's what I've read online.
Yeah.
And so I didn't read that in the artist's way. I mean, I get the sense that she believes in the higher power.
Yeah.
But I believe I read someplace online that she is a Christian. I could be wrong with that, but that's what I remember.
I need to look that up because I'm really curious about how that ended up coming into how that has started to spread in the Christian community. It's
been going on for a while, though.
Yeah, I don't know how long, but I'm interested to look at how that happened because there's been a lot of critique about that recently that I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of different perspectives. Yeah. You could look at it Christians shouldn't be involved with this because it's kind of a secular thing and it goes against, these teachings. Or I could look at it as a secular person myself. I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not a Christian. I could look at it like, well, I don't want these Christians bringing their ideas into the self-help movement and changing it and making it all about Jesus. But then another person who's not part of either community, who has friends on both sides, could look at the situation and say, but isn't it a good thing that Christians, atheists, and, all these other types of people can find common ground in the self-help world? Which is not that's not the opinion I take, but it is an interesting way of looking at things.
Right. I kind of go the other way as far as I don't think Christians should be involved in it. I think it's very, very dangerous. But that's how I would see it in a different perspective.
Self-help can be dangerous if it's used wrong.
It is, yeah.
There's a lot of, it's weird. There's a lot of conservative ideas in self-help, but there's also a lot of woke type of ideas.
Give me an example of that.
Well, around language.
Yes.
Right? So I've gone to people's houses who have all the right self-help books.
Yes.
And I don't know if they're a Christian. I'm thinking of one person in particular.
Oh, okay.
But you talk to this person and they're like, well, I was mad. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I was this, I was that. There's all this stuff around language.
Man or woman?
A woman. I'm thinking about specifically.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen it with other people, but to less of an extreme, where you really have to watch how you word things.
That's what that reminds me of, that one room we were in. Mm-hmm. Remember we were talking about, what was it?
I know the room you're talking about.
Hijacking of the, whatever you call it. And I'm like, what is that? Because I was like, I don't understand what that means. And you're like, oh, I think I can explain it. And I'm like, wow, this is like a jargon I've never heard before in my life. And I was just like, this is really foreign to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your judgers, your judges are, and I'm like, why can't you just keep it simple?
Yeah. But, so there's those really lib ideas, but there's also a lot of conservative ideas in there about pulling yourself up, doing what's best for you, trying to make a better life for you and your family. So it's this weird mix.
I also have a problem with that too, as well. With both of those ideas. Mm-hmm. Even as a conservative myself, I have a problem with that idea as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, the whole self-help world is kind of...
It's a mixed bag of stuff.
I dip my toe in it. I have connections to it. I appreciate it for what it is, and I have some issues with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. But that's just me, okay?
That's just me, okay?
Okay, yes.
That's right.
That's right, Jaylo. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to talk about before?
No, this is a really interesting self-help discussion, because I didn't think we were going to go there, but we did.
It's good to go there sometimes.
It is very interesting to talk about it and talk about it with different perspectives.
Here's a question before we go to the movies that I've been thinking about. I may have told you this. I think I did, that I have been visiting the website to the Hatley School for the Blind, which, in case you don't know, is a school designed for blind people.
Yes.
And it's kind of hard to get my head around it, but I realized that they have all these different support groups that meet virtually. Mm-hmm. And I've been thinking about attending some of their support groups around blindness.
I really think you should, and if it is accessible, because I've been a brief student of the Hadley School for the blind. What is their address? Can you say it?
I could. I just don't remember it.
Can you find it for me?
Not right now, but I could send you a link to it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What I think you should do is you should maybe check it out and let me know if it's accessible, and maybe I should go into one of those things, because I think it's always good to communicate with other blind people that might actually have concerns or problems that they're dealing with that you might be dealing with. Because it's good to discuss it with each other, but it's also good to have a community to discuss it with and say, hey, you're not alone in this. I have a problem like that too. And
I have a core group of blind friends.
I do too.
But still. With mine, some of them I check in with weekly.
Right. And I don't, and most of mine are out of state, and that's a little bit tough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
it's still good to get different perspectives.
It is. It certainly is. I think it would be, I think you should try it. Yeah, let me know whatever, if you find a schedule that they have, because
there's one online. I'll send you a link to it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that would be kind of cool to look at that.
That might be cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Jaylo, so we get to the movies?
Yes.
Would you like me to give, a recap of a movie that you enjoyed more than Fight Club? And the movie is called Superbad.
Can I give the premise at least?
Give the premise.
Okay. So the premise is there are these two guys that are getting ready to leave high school for good, getting ready to graduate, and they find out that there is a party that this girl is hosting. One of the guys is really into her, and what she wants them to do is to get a whole bunch of alcohol to bring to the party, because it's going to be like one of the biggest parties of the year. And the guys are played by Jonah Hill and
Michael
Jonah Hill and Michael Cera are the main characters. And Christopher Midslack is the friend that goes to school with them. I guess not really friend. McLovin.
I love that. I just love the name McLovin. And I love the interplay that this character has with the cops in this movie.
He's such a dork, but he definitely plays a big role in this movie. And it's about the hijinks that ensues when they're trying to get to the party on time with all the alcohol, and it's crazy.
I won't give away everything because you actually did a really good job recapping it, but I want to highlight a few things.
Okay.
At one point, so their friend, I think his real name is Fogel, but he goes to get a fake ID. And they give them the name of McLovin. His ID says that he's 25 and from Hawaii. He works at a liquor store, but of course he can't shop in there.
Okay, that's right.
Because they know that he's not old enough. So they take him to this other liquor store, send him inside, and he has all these fantasies before he gets to the cash register.
What about the spilling?
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say. He opens, he grabs like a can of alcohol. I think it's a beer, and one like pops to the ground and gets open.
Yeah.
He eventually gets the alcohol. He's checking out, and some guy comes in and punches McLovin. So they call the cops, who are played by Seth Rogen,
Bill Hader,
and Bill Hader. And Seth Rogen seems like a really, really nice guy on interviews. I think he seems like the type of person I would like to hang out with. Having said that, I'm really not a big fan of his movies.
Oh, okay.
But he did write this movie.
Yeah.
And he's really good in it. Yeah.
Okay.
So they are...
Does he play Michaels?
He plays one of the cops.
Okay.
And they are a couple of wild cops who decide to take McLovin on a joyride. And it is... I don't know why, but I think this is some of the funniest stuff I've seen in a long time, as far as movies goes. is his interaction with the cops when they take him to a bar and he trips this homeless guy. And then, near the end of the movie when they break in on him having sex and they agree to take him out in handcuffs so he'll look cool in front of everybody. I really enjoyed that.
Of course you did. It's guy humor.
What did you think of the stuff with McLovin?
I thought McLovin was a total dork. But I also thought it was, thinking from what a guy would think. And I personally don't think that this is like complete guy humor.
Yes.
It's not particularly funny to me, but the concept is funny that this really dorky kid who probably you would not imagine getting this opportunity gets to hang out with a bunch of really incompetent cops who smoke and drink and really
things.
shouldn't be. Yeah, and they let him shoot at their car, which is really weird. Yes. And they should be taken off of the force, but they're not. They're not. They could barely get to their to the place where they're called to be.
I like too when McLovin first he's going up to the bedroom with this girl at the party.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, so what's Hawaii like? Completely forgetting the fact that she's been going to high school with him.
For a long time.
Yes.
And didn't even, knew that he didn't go.
And then when they take McLovin out of the house, he's like, oh, we were going to go to Hawaii together.
We're going to go to Hawaii.
Yes. So this movie comes out.
Well, wait a minute. What about the other characters?
We're going to
get there.
Okay, let me tell a little bit of my history of the
yes.
movie first. There was a movie called The Hangover, which I've actually not seen. I've heard it's funny, but I have a feeling...
Sounds like it's a stupid movie to me.
I mean, not Is it The Hangover, the one where he gets this girl pregnant? No, it's Knocked Out. Knocked Up.
Yeah.
Knocked Up, I'm sorry. Yeah. With Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen The Hangover. It's not that funny.
Okay.
At least I didn't really laugh. But anyways, Knocked Up comes out. And I've not seen that movie. I have no interest. And I've heard it's good, but I have the feeling it's, people who like dumb movies.
Uh-huh.
And Seth Rogen is promoting the movie Knocked Up.
Mm-hmm.
He does an interview where it's him and Judd Apatow talking to somebody, I think on NPR.
Yeah.
And Judd Apatow says, well, this is a really good movie. But I'm actually really excited about the movie Superbad that Seth has coming out next that he helped write. Uh-huh. And so that put it in my mind like, oh, that might be interesting. Right?
Excuse me a second.
Oh, what do you do?
Sorry, I'm just pulling the...
It's just a new bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, just go on.
And so I keep my eyes and my ears open for Superbad. It comes out. And this was back when there was a website called LimeWire.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying I got the movie from LimeWire, but somehow a copy of the movie ended up on my computer.
Wow.
From LimeWire.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
It just did.
It's just magic. Mm-hmm. We're going to assume that the tech gods came down and transferred off of the website onto my computer.
Or you could have pressed a button or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
In any event, I have a really bad memory too, so maybe I pressed something. So... I watched Superbad, but it was a copy of the movie that was shot in the movie theater. So you hear the audience reaction and the camera shots are not the best. But I thought it was so funny that I watched it the next night and laughed just as hard.
Mm.
And I
You didn't think it was that funny when you first saw it?
No, I thought it was really funny. That's why I watched it again.
Okay.
Even though I watched a very bad pirated version of it.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
And I haven't seen it since then. Until last night.
Oh, wow.
So this was my third time watching it. And I thought it really held up.
Okay.
So that's my history. Now let's get to the other characters.
Yes.
We have Jonah Hill, who plays Seth. And he's kind of a tough-talking kid.
He's a typical pervert.
A little bit hard to love.
Yeah, really. Kind of, he's kind of like into what he can get from girls and, like the biggest party of the year and... I don't know. He definitely is a tough talker. A tough talker.
And a tough talker.
I said tough talker. Tough talker. Excuse me.
He wants to hook up with this girl named Jules, who is played by Emma Stone. I think this might be her first big movie.
You might be right, yes.
I'm sure she did stuff before this, but this is where I became aware of her.
You might be right, yes.
And he takes his friend Evan on the trip to get alcohol. So Seth is like yelling and abrasive, and Evan is this very passive dude.
Yeah.
We know that they've been friends for a very long time, and at the end of the school year, which is coming up, they're both going to go their separate ways to different colleges. Evan is going to
Dartmouth
with McLovin,
which is really weird because how would McLovin get into Dartmouth? But they did.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I know. He's such a dork.
He's a dork. He studied.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I thought he wasn't very smart though.
McLovin is kind of smart. He's socially awkward.
Okay, that's probably why I thought he was so dorky. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, oh wow, okay, that's okay.
But he's responsible. He has a job, and you know, all that stuff. So this is kind of their last night together. And at one point, they finally get to the house after all these shenanigans where Seth is hit by a car, taking another party that's sort of weird, that's not theirs. They make it to the party they're supposed to go to.
I thought Evan was hit.
No, with Seth.
Oh, with Seth. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Get to the house. There's this girl, Becca, who's really into Evan.
Yeah.
And they go upstairs. She really wants to blow him.
And she's really drunk.
Yes.
But he likes her too, but he doesn't know how to talk to her.
She throws up. He goes downstairs, passes out. Seth picks him up in his arms and rescues him. And runs away.
The most unlikely person to pick Evan up and carry him.
And there's a scene that I just think is really funny where Evan wakes up in Seth's arms and he looks up and sees him carrying him away. He's like, can I stand up by myself?
Can I walk now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay, babes.
How far did he carry him?
I don't know. Pretty far.
Okay.
Yes. Eventually they go back to Evan's place. They talk. They fall asleep. And the next day they go to the mall. Run into Jules and Becca. And they go on a date, kind of. They separate. Yeah. But they each end up going out with these girls.
I will say that there was a funny part where Seth was trying on pants, and Evan's like, "That's really tight." Yeah. What about like if I was standing and I'm like, "Hey, prof," and he's like, "No, that's too tight. That's a little too tight. That's not good. That's not good for you. That one's too tight." I thought that was kind of funny, but otherwise, I mean, a lot of it was very much a guy's movie, and I didn't think a lot of it was funny, but
wow, I there's so many funny parts in this movie.
I understand why you thought it was funny.
Yeah.
That's why I gave it a week 7. And also I
thought you gave it a medium 7.
I'm sorry, a medium 7. That wasn't the other movie. Sorry.
That's okay.
I gave Fight Club a week 7, and I gave this one just a 7.
You like this more than Fight Club?
Slightly.
Yes.
Slightly.
But you did like it more than Fight Club.
Yes, I said that.
Like, yes, we know.
Stop trying to force me to really like movies that you like all the time.
Okay, it's just that I have really good taste. Now, what did you think of the scene in cooking class where he's talking to the teacher and he's like, "I'm just sorry, I just think this class is bullshit. Excuse my language, but I'm never gonna fucking use this class. I'm so sorry about the language, but this is completely useless to me." Where Zeth is going on like that.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny.
That made me laugh.
I didn't think it was as funny as you did, but I thought it was kind of funny.
I'm
trying to think. There was another thing that
you laughed at something that I think is very paint by numbers for movies of the time, and that's the awkward singing scene.
Well, and the only reason, so I didn't really think that was funny. The reason why I laughed at it was so ridiculous. I had to laugh at it because I'm like, this is such a weird scene and not that funny, but it was so ridiculous I had to laugh. Yeah, what else could I do?
It's almost like the rule of movies from 2000 to 2010 that they have to have a scene with some guy singing inappropriately. So that actually takes me out of the movie when I see that scene.
Well, it wasn't even a really funny scene. I just laughed at it because it was like, well, what else can I do? It's ridiculous. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's so corny. You know, what else can you do but laugh?
What about, you laughed at this in bed this morning.
Did I?
When we talked about Seth wants to get the beer at the first party, and he's dancing with a girl. He goes to leave, and people notice that there is blood on his pants, and it's period blood.
Okay. So I was thinking about that, and it's kind of ridiculous too.
Yes.
But it's kind of funny too because it's like, whoa, she must have had a really, really heavy flow. She must have had really, really white pants on. I don't know. I said, well, the only way that would really happen in real life is if she was sitting on his lap. It would get all over.
What if she's just somebody who bleeds more than the average woman?
Then she really has to get checked out because that's really a problem.
Yes.
If she had that much of an issue, then it's possible. But usually, what would normally happen if a woman were to bleed out like that is she would have to be sitting down on something, not on and on someone to get blood on their pants.
Yes.
Yes. Well, how close were they? Were they like
they were bumping and grinding?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was gross, but it's.
I also I don't want to give everything away from this movie, but I like the scene where Becca is calling Evan and he's outside of the first party. She's in the car and he can barely hear her, so he's like yelling at the phone like, "Oh, this fucking phone, son of a bitch!" That made me laugh.
No, I didn't think that was that funny.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, see, I was under the impression that she was going to get back at him for that.
Really?
I was.
No.
I was. I thought that there were. I thought I was under the impression that she really wanted to get back at him for that because she probably thought that he was talking to her. She's like, he's being really rude. Evan, it's Becca, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, he explained, it was my phone reception. It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a good movie.
But his character was, it sounded like he was very, socially inept when it came to girls.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know how to talk to girls, and you commented that it reminded you of somebody in your life that we won't mention.
He was very smart, but has a few issues with women.
Socially awkward with women.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a good guy.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And a friend who I know very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's.
And I only met this person once.
Oh.
But I can't really gather anything from that. I don't. You're like, you asked me a question. I'm like, well, I don't know. I just met this person once.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you recommend this movie to people?
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, I'd probably recommend it to a young guy who just wants to watch something ridiculously, a movie for a person that likes ridiculous guy humor.
Look,
it sounds like a person that would watch this.
What's up?
Would probably be a person that was like really into something ridiculous, like Beavis and Butthead or something.
I was a big fan of Beavis and Butthead growing up.
I know why.
Oh my goodness.
I understand why you would like this movie.
Oh my goodness.
A total guy's movie.
It's not Citizen Kane.
Of course not.
But I think for a teenage movie, it's a lot of fun. It's one of the best teenage movies out there. I'd say my 3 favorite teenage movies are probably Breakfast Club.
Clueless.
That has to. Oh, that's so tough. Okay, here's my 4 favorite teenage movies: Breakfast Club, Clueless, Pump Up the Volume, and Superbad. And I don't quite know the order, but that's I would say, is it in the top 5 best teenage movies you've ever seen?
Well, I haven't seen all of the Breakfast Club. I do want to see. I've heard so much about Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I haven't seen that either.
I think that's a movie that Clueless was based on.
It's not based on it, but it had the same director.
Or the same director. I'm sorry.
Penelope Spears is her name, I want to say.
Okay.
I might have that wrong.
But I heard good things about Fast Times at Ridgemont High with a young
Spicoli.
A young Sean Penn.
Yes.
And Phoebe Cates.
Yeah, but getting back to this movie, I thought it was, how I feel about it.
Wait a minute, what about 16 Candles? Did you like 16 Candles?
I did, but it's not at the same level.
Or Pretty in Pink?
Pretty in Pink's good. It's not top 4.
I only saw part of that movie too. Pretty in Pink.
My sister really enjoyed that movie. And 16 Candles. So that's
16 Candles is good. I really enjoy that one too.
Yes. When you grow up in a household with women, you gotta watch some female stuff, babes.
Of course, I grew up in a house full of women.
Yeah.
I was the middle of 3 sisters. So
and then Molly Ringwald made that movie.
Or 2 sisters, rather.
Molly Ringwald made that movie, Period Pride.
What?
About women who are proud about their periods.
That's a movie?
And they take their period blood.
Bubs.
And they make this art out of it.
Bubs.
What?
Bubs, are you serious?
No.
You're not serious.
I'm not serious.
That didn't sound serious to me. Okay. Period Pride? What?
About artists who use menstruation blood.
Oh.
To express themselves.
Okay, can I mention this?
Go ahead.
You said you were thinking about this weird concept for a room.
I don't even remember what was the concept.
You said something, why don't we have a room about guys who have girlfriends or wives that are on their periods? And
yeah, and you said we should call it What's Your Bloody Problem? Which I do like.
I said, I was joking. I said, this is a ridiculous idea. And then you said, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny if I said, the next episode is going to be based on when my girlfriend has her period? And I'm like, no, don't do that. That's ridiculous.
But you came up with a great name. What's Your Bloody Problem?
That was because it was so ridiculous. And I said, well, I guess if you're going to name it, I think it should be called this.
Nice. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't want to get kicked off the Clubhouse.
Don't do that. Don't do that. A lot of women are sensitive about that.
I know.
Yeah. I don't think that would go over well.
Oh, there's not enough period humor in our culture.
It's not funny.
That's just my
opinion. It's the one annoying thing that we have to deal with every month, especially myself. And I don't particularly have any mood swings or anything, but it is very uncomfortable.
Yes.
You guys will have to deal with it. Well, although I heard that some men go through mantrums once a month.
It's not the same thing as what a woman goes through.
It's not the same thing, but I heard that there are times during a month that some men really have something going on with them emotionally.
I don't know. I've heard that too. But I think that's just men wanting to seem like they're down with the cause. Yes. Or get some sympathy points.
But some men really do have emotional issues. And
that is true.
Yeah, and they really need help for that.
Yes.
I'm glad you're not like that, though.
Thank you. Let's do some character analysis.
Okay.
What do you think of Seth as a human being?
Well, I thought so at first glance, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was your typical teenage guy, typical pervert, has always been a pervert since he was a kid. All he cared about was alcohol and women. And all he wanted to do was, all he cared about was the last grad party of the year.
And drawing.
And drawing stuff.
Yes.
Drawing penises.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
Typical pervert.
Sorry, go ahead.
At first glance, I'm like, I don't really like this kid. But you look underneath it, and he wants to do this with Evan because he knows that Evan is going to go off to a different school, and he's upset because he thought that Evan and him were going to spend college together as well as high school. And not only that, he finds out too that Evan is supposed to room with Fogel.
A.K.A. McLovin.
Yes. And he's not exactly happy about that. And finding out too that Evan didn't want to room with strangers, so he decided to room with Fogel, and he didn't really want to room with him. Mm-hmm. Which I understand. But why Fogel? I don't know.
I think Fogel is the only one he knows from his school who's also going to Dartmouth.
Right, okay. So anyway, that's Seth. But I think underneath it, he really is your typical... He could be a very nice guy, but he doesn't know how to show it. Would you say that's an accurate assumption?
I would say that's accurate.
Okay.
Do you think that Seth and Jules are still together today?
No.
Okay.
I think it's just maybe a trial and error thing. Maybe they're just testing the waters and they were together for a while and then... Because Jules seems a lot more together than him.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Seth thought that she was cool and everything, I think all he wanted to do was sleep with her, and maybe she just wasn't into that. She just seemed a lot more together than he was.
Do you think that Evan and Seth are still friends, or is it one of those things to where, we were close in high school, but me and that guy don't really talk anymore?
I think they are. I think it seemed like they really wanted to start something over again with their friendship. Like, I know you're going to school, but we're going to keep in touch because we've been friends for so long.
Where do you think Becca is today?
That's hard to say. Maybe she looked over her life and thought, maybe that I had way too much to drink and I really made a fool of myself and that's really not how I am and I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't know. She actually seemed like a nice girl.
Yes.
She didn't seem like the kind of person that would party really hard.
She seemed fun, though.
I guess, yeah.
Yes.
But she definitely wasn't the Becca that you saw in the beginning of the movie. But she actually seemed genuinely nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether Evan and Becca are together for a long time, and it's kind of odd because he seems so passive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe she goes for people like that. I don't know. Maybe their relationship lasts longer than Seth and Jules.
Mm-hmm. I see Seth and Jules as maybe he works hard and finally near the end of the summer she has sex with him and then they never talk again. And then I see Evan and Becca as they have a relationship during the summer. They both go their separate ways. They keep in contact and maybe they visit each other once in a while and then slowly the relationship ends because they're just, separated by space.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they decide they want to just be together for the summer and then separate afterwards, even though they really like each other. And I don't know.
How does the experience with the cops change McLovin?
Maybe he has a little bit more confidence, even though we both know he's pretty socially awkward with a lot of things. Probably a smart guy. I mean, I didn't think he was that smart, but you said that well, I remember when you made that comment about technology, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you don't have the right technology for that. But I think maybe this gives him a little bit more confidence.
Where do you think these police officers are today?
I think they're taken off of the force immediately. I think they're stripped of their licenses and say, you know what, you served your time as police officers, but we're going to get other people to take your place because you really did a number on this car. You had a minor go off with you and, you've been smoking and drinking on the force. I think we're just
with a minor.
With a minor, yeah. That's not good,
I love when they're in the bedroom at the end with McLovin, and I think it's Seth Rogen says, I just cockblocked McLovin. I thought that was funny. And they explained to him, we knew right away that you were underage. We just wanted you to think that some cops were cool.
And that wouldn't happen in real life.
Now you're starting to think like me, babes.
Well, no,
Which
Bubs.
is good. I'm glad I'm starting to rub
No, Bubs. I thought about that before.
Okay.
Like, when you watch a movie and you're like, oh, that really wouldn't happen. But then I'm not like you and you dwell on it like, oh.
Well, would it not happen in real life? Let's examine this.
Oh, my goodness. Bubs.
What?
Talk about it after. I don't want to go on another tangent. We're still on this movie.
No, but maybe part of them saw something in McLovin that was kind of like them. And they know that they're not long for this job. And so they want to go out with a bang.
And they take a minor with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, babes.
I don't know. That would be a stupid move.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I've thought that way before.
Mm.
I thought that way before, but I didn't dwell on it like you do.
I do dwell on stuff like
that. Yes, you do.
Yes.
I've thought like that when watching Hallmark movies. Like, that wouldn't happen, and then I just leave it at that.
Yes.
I don't talk about it anymore.
Well, good. Would you recommend this to anybody in your family?
Yeah, possibly.
Really?
Maybe the young guys in my family. I don't know if my older relatives would like it, but it's possible my cousin would like it, or maybe even my younger cousins might like it. I don't know.
Nice.
It's possible.
Well, I'm glad I was able to show you this film.
Yes.
Can I get a kiss, J-Lovin'?
No.
Come on, J-Lovin'.
Don't call me that, please.
Okay. I didn't know
Every
that.
time I think of that, I think, oh, I must be a socially awkward person with guys. Do you think so?
I don't know. Okay.
Huh? Well, you have to know now. I mean, it's been almost 3 years.
I don't know. Okay, what about J-Lo lovin'?
No.
Okay. All right, sorry, babes.
Well, it's kind of funny, but I don't want to be called J Lovin', please.
Okay, J-Lovin'. I'm sorry.
That sounds like a really, Bubs.
Yes.
That sounds like a really, weird name that a girl would use, to get on a chat line or, a social media platform.
Maybe
hey,
you're right.
I'm J Lovin'.
Yes. Or
Maybe
a guy who's trying to pretend to be a girl.
Yeah, maybe, or no, it could work for a guy too. Maybe it's oh no, I want to get some messages, so I'm going to call myself J Lovin'.
Yeah.
And maybe people will be like, hey, can I have some of that J Lovin'? No, seriously, it sounds like that, Bubs.
Thank you, babes.
Don't call me J Lovin'.
Oh. Yeah, well, is there anything else you want to say about Superbad?
I want to find out about that actor that played McLovin, because he was actually really good.
He was. I love his storyline in the movie, as we've already said.
I mean, and I'm thinking that probably attests to how good he is, because he really was a dork in the movie.
Yeah.
But he ended up being kind of the hero, actually.
Yeah, he did, because he got everybody the alcohol.
He got the right girl, even for a little bit.
And then they take him out in handcuffs, so he looks really cool in front of everybody at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he was their friend anyway.
Yeah. And then I like when he's they're taking him out and they're like, get off of me, you fucking pigs, I'll never take this. And they're like, this man Fogel is dangerous. He's a threat to society. They get into the car and they're like, oh, you're gonna get laid because of this.
Yes, I know, Bubs. I know.
I'm just saying, I thought it was funny, babes. I thought it was funny, babes.
No, I'm just kidding, Bubs.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And you obviously understand why I like it.
Yeah. In your own twisted way, yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, babes.
Yes.
Maybe we should turn to another movie we watched.
So I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I think you should give the premise, since I gave the premise for that one. It is called Cocoon, and it came out in 1985, and I believe I saw both movies, because there was Cocoon, and then Cocoon the Return, which is the second one.
Yes. But we just watched Cocoon.
Yes, we did.
Wilford Brimley is in this movie. He has a grandson, and he lives at a retirement home, even though at the time of the making of this film, he was 51 years old.
Not quite a senior citizen.
Which just makes me feel like, oh, I just enjoy my freedom while I can.
No. Right.
We find out that, or they discover a pool with these weird, rocks in them.
Yes.
Him and his two buddies.
Mm-hmm.
They go swimming, and then suddenly they realize that they had all this energy.
And they feel young. They're younger than they felt before.
They keep going back to the pool and getting more energy. Meanwhile, Steve Guttenberg is a struggling boatsman who is hired to take these people out into the ocean. And they're basically these aliens who are taking human form, and they're back on Earth to rescue their friends.
Yes.
And Guttenberg discovers this because they're open with him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They think he's a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
The old folks tell their friends about it after the head alien, Walter, gives them the consent. Okay, you guys can use my pool, but you're not allowed to touch these rocks because they contain my friends. He didn't say that, but, that was the basic implication. The old folks are starting to feel good, rejuvenated. Any old person is allowed to go in there as long as you're white. And then
Was that what they said?
They implied that.
Oh, okay.
They did imply that, if you remember.
Yeah, but that was like a very, very small scene. I guess I didn't catch. I didn't really.
The one black person who asked him about it, they kind of tell him it's not for you.
Oh.
Which, I mean, at least they were honest about it. But that was kind of weird to watch. But anyways, turns out one of the guys when he was younger had some issues. Mm-hmm. And now that he's feeling rejuvenated, those things are coming back, right? So he's staying out late, partying.
And this is Joe. His name was Joe. Yes.
And he had cancer at the beginning of the movie, but now that's gone.
Yep.
Okay. There's this other dude named Bernie who won't let his wife go in the pool, and he doesn't want to go in either.
Right.
He's stubborn about it.
Yes.
This comes to a head when they're all eating lunch, and Bernie is feeding his wife, and they say, "You got to let her go in." He refuses. There's this big ruckus.
Joe almost attacks Bernie.
Yeah, and eventually they decide we're going to all jump into the pool, which kills off the creatures.
Yeah.
That night, Bernie's wife dies. He goes to the pool, but there's no more power in the water because every creature is dead. Mm-hmm. Walter, the head alien, sees Joe, and is starting to feel for his dead friends because he sees the pain that Joe is in. Mm-hmm. Wilford Brimley comes over and says, "Walter, I'm awfully sorry about what we did."
He didn't have a southern accent.
He didn't have a southern accent, babes.
I just said that.
Okay, good. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, badness.
And Walter explains that he only has a little bit of time to put the rest of the cocoons back in the ocean. But Wilford Brimley says, well, we could help you with that. And maybe make it a little bit easier. So all the old folks get together with Steve Guttenberg, get the cocoons where they're supposed to be. And Walter says, "Hey, how would y'all like to come with me on our spaceship? Mm-hmm. You'd be students, it would be very different. Mm-hmm. But we could also learn a lot from you." Mm-hmm. Most of the people agree to this. Wilford Brimley is talking to his grandson, and he says, I'm leaving soon. And the grandson replies with, "Where are you going?" And he says, "Well, that's not important. What is important is where me and your grandmother are going, we're going to feel no more pain.
Bubs.
We're not going to die." What?
Bubs.
What?
Stop it.
Sorry. So the grandson knows something's up.
Yeah, and he says, "But don't tell your mother about this."
They go to leave that night. David, the grandson, breaks down, tells the mom. Tells the mom. They go to the old folks' home. They can't find anybody except for Bernie. Mm-hmm. David jumps onto the boat as it's leaving. Wilford Brimley says, "Hey, you're not allowed to go with us. This is a cool adventure for me and your grandma." And so David jumps off the side of the boat. Wilford Brimley looks at him. David says he's not scared. Mm-hmm. The boat gets taken up into the spaceship, and they have a funeral, assuming that everybody on the boat had died. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the end of the movie.
Yeah. And we were talking about... I had a little bit of an issue with the part where they took the boat.
Yes,
right?
I did too.
But then why would they take the boat if they're going to be taken up in a spaceship?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me.
And then it was implied, well, the media was making it sound like all the people died on the boat.
And the thing I had trouble with is Steve Guttenberg stays behind. Now, I know that he was given a lot of money by Walter, but isn't he going to go to prison for... all the people who supposedly died on his boat?
Yeah, I don't know.
That didn't make a lot of sense to me. And they also do this trope to where they're about to leave and they got to leave right now, but the boat isn't starting. So at the last minute, they fix it and they're able to take off. We've seen that in so many movies that it's kind of like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they get the boat started.
Yeah, and then why would Steve Guttenberg, because one of the aliens ended up dating him for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why would you date an alien knowing that she was going to go back?
I don't get why he stayed behind.
Who? Steve Guttenberg,
yeah.
I know. I don't know why. I mean, he could have been with his girlfriend. I don't know why Bernie I don't know why Bernie stayed behind because he didn't have a wife anymore.
I really didn't like Bernie.
You didn't?
I kind of saw what he was doing, but I didn't like how he wouldn't let his wife go into the pool. That's where he lost me. If it was just him, I could go with that.
Yeah, like he wouldn't have, he would have probably kept his wife a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have gone together to that planet if he would have let her go in. I mean, obviously this is a weird sci-fi movie, and it's not like E.T. or the Back to the Future stuff,
or Close Encounters,
of the Third Kind, or Contact.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I'd probably give it a 7 too.
I'd give it a weak 7.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm glad I saw it. I don't need to see it again. Maybe I'll watch the sequel one day, but I'm in no rush to see these characters again.
Okay.
It was cool to see Wilford Brimley act. Because as we've discussed before, all I really knew him from was that he had diabetes. Right.
The SNL, by the way, #see SNL sketch.
Yes.
With John Goodman.
Yes. But it was good to know that, yeah, he had diabetes, but he also was able to act.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, does this film make you want to watch more of his movies?
I'm not sure. What did you think of his acting ability in this one?
He just seemed like an old guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing really that spectacular about it, but he was good as that.
Yeah.
Even though he was only 51.
Yeah, I know. And all of them were like in their 70s.
Yeah.
Jessica Tandy was still very, very old, and she died in 94.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, here's a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think that the reason why, this might be a dumb question, but do you think that the reason why he didn't want Rose to be in the pool is because he wanted to protect her?
No, because he goes in there with her at the end when he's, upset at her death. I think it's because, that's a good question. He didn't want to play God, and he had thought that they had already lived their lives.
Okay, and he thought that Joe was really taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
And because he mentioned, well, your marriage is on the rocks, and what are you doing? And I kind of got what he was talking about. Because he's like, what are you doing? You're playing with your life here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I get what he was doing, but I do think that if he, I didn't hate Bernie. I think I kind of understood why he didn't want her to be in there, because they were getting so old already.
But it's believable that somebody would die in this movie because it is kind of based in an old folks world.
Yeah.
But it's also very predictable that it's Bernie's wife who dies.
Not him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that way he has to live with the fact that he prevented her from going into the pool. Like, I saw her death coming a mile away.
Yeah. But I don't understand why he couldn't just leave, because his wife was his wife was his entire world.
Mm-hmm.
She was his life, so why would he not leave if he didn't have anybody left?
I don't know. I didn't really like that whole plot line with Bernie.
Okay.
Now, having criticized the movie, some things that really did work for me was the stuff with Joe.
Okay.
I thought that was good, about how he went back to these bad habits once his body started to repair itself.
Right. Because he thought, well, I have a new lease on life, I'm going to live it up.
I like that. I enjoyed Wilford Brimley's relationship with his grandson. Yes. But maybe we could have used 1 or 2 more scenes of that. Yeah,
I think so too. We don't know much about his family, his family with his daughter, and we don't know anything about David and his parents. We just know that, they visit the mom and the grandson a lot. Mm-hmm. Their daughter and their grandson a lot. And it's implied that she's a single mother, I think. Right?
That's what I got out of it. Yeah. They don't say that, but that's what I gleaned. It's implied,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, yeah. That's how I see it, I guess.
How do you feel about watching Cocoon 2?
I'd watch it again. I think I may have seen it. Because remember so there was a scene that I remembered in one of the movies where they come back, this baby is crying, and the lady's like, oh, wait a minute, let me go and help you with the baby. And she touches the baby, and the baby stops crying.
Wow.
And they're like, oh, wow, that worked. And I think that was in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Cocoon, The Return, I don't know how I'd feel about seeing it. I'd give it a chance. Just because I don't remember too much about it because I was young when it came out.
Ron Howard did not direct that, though. And it's always a little bit tricky to me when you have a big member of the creative team who is not involved with the sequel.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know, babes.
Understandable.
Yes.
Understandable.
Can we learn anything about death from this movie?
Oh, certainly.
Like what?
We can learn that in reality we are not immortal, and it's good to take care of yourself while you still can, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to reach death a lot quicker. And you want to, I personally think about how a lot of them have lived a full life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they actually took care of themselves or whether they didn't.
What does this movie teach us about exploration?
About what? Exploring?
Yeah, exploring. They leave to go on another adventure.
Interesting. I kind of think of, when people get older and they reach retirement age, right? I always have this idea that they're exploring other things. They're exploring new things. It's like another chapter of their life before they leave. But maybe I'm not sure if I'm answering your question correctly, but that's how I see it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about this movie?
What did you think about the contrast between a movie with young kids in it and a movie with old people?
Yeah, because that's originally why I wanted to watch these movies on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Was because it was such a weird...
It is.
Or a big age difference, rather.
And drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that? In general.
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to give you an intelligent answer.
Okay.
But something tells me I'm not going to, so I'm just going to say what pops in my head.
Sure.
I mean, in Superbad, we're seeing people who have their entire life in front of them.
Uh-huh.
But yet they don't feel that way. They think that their entire life is kind of behind them, or at least
or it's
Seth
right
does.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think that, this is the only time I'm ever going to have a good life. And after that, it's grown-up stuff.
And you can make the argument that in Cocoon, we're seeing the same thing. These people have their entire life in front of them, even though they think it's over because they're old.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But because they go with the aliens, they have these incredible adventures, we're assuming.
Right.
And so if I were to say anybody was most like Seth
mm-hmm.
in Cocoon, I'd probably go with Wilford Brimley. And I'd likely say that Evan is most like Bernie in Cocoon.
Really? How's that?
Well, because Wilford Brimley lived a life. He was willing to break into some place to go into this pool when he wasn't supposed to.
Right.
He's up for an adventure, that
mm-hmm.
type of thing.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going to say Joe, the guy who played Joe.
I could see why you would think that.
Yeah.
But I would actually go with Wilford Brimley.
Interesting.
Now, with Evan and Bernie, they're both very timid people.
Mm-hmm.
They both want to live, but they know that there's limits to life, and they're not willing to really push those
They're not
hard.
willing to take a lot of risk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question at all.
Yeah, they don't know how to balance it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the dualities of these two movies and what they can teach us about age?
Yeah, there's definitely dualities between the two movies for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cocoon really makes you think about mortality, and Superbad makes you think about maturing and growing up, and getting out of the high school mentality.
Yeah.
and learning how to be and learning how to be an adult. So yeah, there's a big contrast there. And
McLovin kind of reminds me of Steve Guttenberg. Like he's smart, he kind of has it together, but
not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's willing to have an alien girlfriend for a time.
Yeah.
But not go with her.
Mm-hmm.
Why? and the girl that is with McLovin never ends up going to Hawaii.
That's right. We were going to go to Hawaii together.
He's really not.
Yes.
McLovin sounds like a weird name for like a sandwich or something.
Mm-hmm. I think at one point the cops call him McMuffin.
Oh yeah. Hey, no. That was the guy that was in the bar.
Oh, was that okay?
On the bus.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, that's a guy I saw you. I saw you at that bar, McMuffin. No, yeah, McLovin either sounds like a weird sandwich that was out at McDonald's, or it sounds like a weird social media platform nickname. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm McLovin.
McLovin.
From the oven.
Yes.
Just like Jaylo.
Jaylo.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's... And it's like, McLovin isn't even a real name. Well, I actually don't have a first name.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. It's like, McLovin, like, what's your first name? My first name? I don't actually have a first name. Oh, okay, it's just like Cher
or Prince.
Or Prince.
Yeah. I like when Seth looks at his fake ID and he's like, "You look like a pedophile in this picture."
Oh, Evan said that?
Yeah. or Seth Jonah Hill said that, I think.
To McLovin.
Yeah. I think it was Jonah Hill.
I think he said something about how he had his vest on, right? He's like, "Oh, you look like whatever it was," and he's like, "I should have my vest on."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Take it off. It looks like you look like I forgot what he said."
It was funny though. Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to say about either of these movies?
I don't know. I'm interested to find out about the guy who plays Fogel, just because I wonder if he played other characters that were completely different than Fogel.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he's really a dork in this movie, but I wonder if he played something completely different from this character.
It is interesting to me.
Yeah.
That, Michael Cera was not super famous, but he was kind of well known before this movie.
Yeah.
But he became a big star or bigger star. So did Jonah Hill. Bill Hader went on to do great things. Seth Rogen and Emma Stone. But yet McLovin, this is a movie I think about when I think of him. And I don't know what else he was in.
Yeah.
And maybe I should, but I don't.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know, babes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's something I've always been fascinated with, people that have like a pretty good sized role in a movie, but they play like just off the wall characters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I wonder what else they were in, and I wonder if they've ever played somebody serious, or I wonder if they played somebody that was even funnier than the character that they were in.
Yeah, or what are they like in real life?
What are they like in interviews? Are they that awkward in interviews, or do they really have a lot of good things to say?
Yes.
I'm fascinated with that. I really am.
I am too.
And what kind of things go into the art of acting as far as like a classical actor? I know the basic stuff, but what do they do? Like when it comes to, having a great comedic timing, or learning how to cry on cue, or learning how to make something believable and funny.
Yeah, or just working with the wardrobe people and finding out, well, what does this character look like? How does he hold himself physically? That type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is he somebody that we could work with?
Yeah.
Is he going to be cooperative with the other cast members? And are they really going to be good together, working together? It seemed like they really made it happen. The three of them.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about Superbad.
Okay, here's a question.
Oh.
What movie did you like better, Superbad or Cocoon?
I like Cocoon better just because I've seen it.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I take that. Okay, let me think. I gave them both 7s.
Yeah.
But I didn't give them either weak or strong 7s.
Yeah.
So they're kind of in the middle there. Because I kind of had a little bit of issues with both of them.
Let me ask you this. If somebody came to you and said, you have to rewatch one of these movies, which one would you choose?
I don't know.
Wow.
No, I don't know. I can't decide, Bubs.
Wow.
Why do you always make up always real questions?
I'm just curious there, Jaylo.
You're saying, like, if I had a gun to my head, that I had to watch one of them?
Yes.
Ugh. I really...
Oh my goodness. I tried to tickle my belly button.
I really can't answer that question, honestly.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
But at least they're both close in your mind.
Yes.
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 And you liked Finding Neverland more than Fight Club.
I certainly did.
So it seems like Fight Club was the worst movie you saw this weekend.
Yes. I mean, it wasn't like a 5 or a 6, but I wasn't like, you know, I didn't like it as much as the other.
Yeah, and I thought it was either going to be that way or you were going to love Fight Club.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But that did not turn out to be the case.
No, I don't want to join a Fight Club either.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Babes.
Yeah.
It's Sunday.
Yes.
No, it's Monday.
It's Monday.
It is Monday. Wow.
Yeah.
That's right, because I came over here on Saturday.
That's right.
What self-love exercises do you plan on doing over the course of the next
we talked about self-help and I have issues with it.
Right. You're going to burn some self-help books.
No. I'm not really in the... Okay. I guess when I think about self-love, which I really don't subscribe to, I think that there are things that need my attention. I need to get back into writing again. I've been meaning to do that for a while, and I'm really glad that I started my book, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying rereading it.
The second Left Behind. Though.
Yes, but I am looking forward to the other ones too as well. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get back into writing again because I got to figure out how the other 2 storylines are going to go as far as the dream sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good, babes.
And I'm interested to. Do you have any ideas of how you're going to write your part?
I do, but I don't want to say them here.
No.
Yeah.
But I have ideas about what I'm going to do with the dream sequences and how it's going to go forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, as soon as I get done with those, I'll be done with that part.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good, babes. Good.
And, yeah, that's, I can't think of anything at the moment for that part of what you asked me.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? What are you thinking about doing?
Far as self-love exercises, connecting with friends, checking out some support groups for blind people.
Yes.
Doing more exercise in the morning.
Yeah, I gotta jump on that. I have a trampoline. I need to jump on it more.
I think I may have told you this. I'm considering buying a boxing bag.
I think you should.
I'm seriously considering doing it. And you know what? They're not that expensive either.
How big are they?
They're big. You can get them up to like a couple 100 pounds.
Whoa.
But they have these stands that I'd have to get with them too, and you connect them to those.
Where are you going to put that?
I don't know. That's part of the consideration. But they're a lot cheaper than I expected them to be.
Wow.
Like, I think I could... I don't want to go into the whole thing, but it seems doable. Mm-hmm. So looking more into that, and also being mindful about what I cook this week.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to try something with the green onions, maybe even as early as this afternoon.
That would be cool, babes.
Yeah, because I don't cook with them very often, and I usually, if I were to cook onions, it's usually the regular size onions. But I'm going to do something with rice and cream of mushroom soup and meat and green onions.
Nice.
It sounds delicious, actually.
It does.
Yes.
We are a little over 2 hours.
Yes.
And I'm assuming we're coming near the end of this.
Yes.
I don't think either of us had dreams last night. I think I did now, but it's kind of vague, and I don't really remember it well enough to go into it.
I think I did too, but I don't. It just slipped my mind, and I guess it wasn't that important.
Yeah, I mean, I could say a few sentences, but they would be kind of incoherent. Something about old sitcoms and dreams, but
I don't know.
We'll skip that for now.
Yeah.
This time, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to give any thank yous, or say something you're grateful for.
Yes. I am thankful for this really cool Saturday we had with the bike ride. I thought it was so awesome. It was more awesome than the last time we went bike riding in June. That was cool, but there was a lot of people that were there, and we met some new people, and there were some other people that we recognized, of course. And my guide was awesome, and we just had a really good ride, and it was nice, and the breeze was just so nice on the bike ride, and I just had a really good conversation, and I'm just thankful that really went off well. What about you?
I'm thankful for the bike ride. I'm thankful that I have a lot of cool people in my life. There's you and the many friends I have who kind of keep me on the emotional wagon, right? Okay. And I'm thankful that I'm still healthy enough to do cool stuff. And I'm thankful that I live in an interesting time to where I have access to resources that I wouldn't have had if I was born, say, 30 or 40 years earlier. Oh, yes, I would agree. I would definitely agree. I honestly think that we are growing up in one of the best times right now. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts, because there is the thing about, our society could collapse, but at least we got to experience this before the fall of the American Empire. Oh my goodness. Now I sound like a crazy person. Yeah, you kind of do. Well, before I went to bed, babes, yeah, I watched this thing on TYT about how... Was that before you went to sleep? Yeah, you were in the bathroom. Oh, right. And there's this video from this week, and Jake and Anna were talking about how there was some study that showed if capitalism continues on the way that it is, our society is going to begin to collapse within the next 20 years. And I completely disagree with it. I don't know, I think it's a total opposite. I don't know. And then they were also talking about the environment and how a lot of scientists are now saying we have passed the tipping point. But for right now, things are still fun. Yeah, I think those studies are very questionable to me. I don't know, babes. I think it is. I think it's the opposite. You think the environment is going to get better? No, that's not what I mean. Go ahead. I'm thinking that the opposite is starting to happen with socialism, and if it infiltrates our society, we're worse off than if we would be. We would be a lot worse off than we are now, and it's really coming to a head. We disagree on that. I think the language of socialism is a problem, but the actual theories behind it, there's some good stuff too. No, okay, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because I know, how I feel about it. And we clearly disagree. We definitely disagree with it. But I'm thankful that I'm with somebody who I can disagree with. And I'm thankful that I got to show you some good movies, and you got to show me some films this weekend. I want to show you a couple of films next week, and we can talk about it later on. Okay. I want to show you Footloose, which you said you never saw, right? No. It's really interesting because I only saw this movie that I remember. The last time I saw it was in 2005. And I don't know why I didn't see it. Earlier. I don't know why. I think it's possible that I may have seen parts of it. But Footloose is about a town where this pastor who has a daughter is outlawing dancing to the town. Yeah, I know the basic premise, but I've never seen it. I thought it was a good movie. Mm. And then I also want to show you The Fox and the Hound, which is a classic old Disney film that I really enjoyed. Oh, good. Yeah. Good. And who knows what I'll show you? Maybe God Bless America? Possibly. Mm-hmm. Maybe a few other things. Possibly. Yeah. And we still got to get back to The War by Ken Burns. Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Ken Bonds.
Yes, yes, yes.
Not Montgomery Bonds.
No, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, Jaylo, unless there's anything else you want to say.
No.
Can I get a kiss, J-Lovin'?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my bad.
J-Lovin'.
J-Lovin'. I love you, J-Lovin'.
I love you too, Wick Lovin'.
I love you, J-Lovin' Pilgrim.
Wick Lovin' Puddin'? No.
Oh my goodness.
Wick Lovin' Puddin'?
Oh wow. Babes.
Or Wick Lovin' Pilgrim?
All right, babes, unless there's anything else you wanted to say.
No.
All right. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.